What's up, everybody? I'm here hanging out with BLC, and I was watching Rod Justarican's channel. He hit 1,000 subscribers today, which is awesome. So way to go, Rod! And we were both on there with him, and I thought, you know what, I just want to stop hanging out with my friends, you know. So I asked BLC if he wanted to come on with me. I shot a DM out to a whole bunch of people on Instagram. If you're watching this, come hang out. Let me know if you want to hang out. So we are here, and we're just kind of going over books, right, BLC?
Yeah, man. You know, the books came out, man. You guys know what's the hottest thing that was out there. If you got your hands on that Batman Beyond, you're lucky, because I know some places were one per customer, and they were flying off the shelf. So,
and how many did you get?
Huh?
How many did you get?
I went to 3 different stores. I was the first 2 I hit. I was the first one online. They wasn't open yet, and then I hit the 3rd one on the way home, and I picked up 1 book that was it. So I picked up 2 A covers and 2 B covers. So I got lucky.
Dang, dude, show them off, man. I'll put you on the big screen.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't have on my pull list. So I know some people did, but I didn't. So here's the A cover.
Man, that cover is sick.
Batwoman Beyond.
Dang.
Yeah, I got lucky, and then I had 2, and here's the B cover. Nice.
So I have that book on my pull list, but I only always get the B cover. As soon as I saw the A cover, I added it the week before, but my comic shop didn't get it, so he's hoping he can still get me one. We'll see, man. I hope.
Yeah, there wasn't too much on the shelf. There was very, very little. If you're lucky, there was 1 or 1 or the other. Again, I had to hit 3 stores and to pick up just that alone.
Yeah,
I got lucky. Yeah, just 1 store had 2. 1 store had 1. 1 had the A cover. The other store had the B cover, and that's how I ended up with 2 sets. So,
well, you put in the work, so it paid off, right?
Oh yeah. I'm lucky. I was, the first LCS opened at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's how they open over here around that time.
No way.
Yeah,
They're like 10 o'clock a.m. here, man.
Yeah, 1:00 in the afternoon, the first one, and then the second one I went to opened at 2:00. So I was the first one on there. So as soon as I finished that one, I ran to the other one. The third one was actually on my way home, and I said, "Let me stop by to see what he had." And he had 1 cover. And I grabbed it. So, but a lot of the books you really couldn't get, man. There was no Marauders. I believe people were picking that up. I didn't get one of those. There was nothing on the shelf. I got lucky with a King Thor. Found only 1 copy of King Thor. That was sold out everywhere either. I couldn't get any of this. I got one of these. That was another one.
That's a good one. I was able to get that one, but it's because I have it on my pull list.
Yeah. And I believe I don't know where it is, but somewhere around here. I had the Immortal Hulk one. I think I showed it to you.
Oh, yeah, you got a whole bunch of those. Let me say what's up to the chat while you're grabbing those.
Right.
So we got Mr. Comics 89. I'm going to shoot him an invite because he wants to come hang out with us. That's totally cool. What's up, Sharon? How are you doing? Sharon's daughter, I don't know if you heard BLC, but she just got published. Did you hear about that, man?
No.
So her Life with 2 YouTubers daughter, Ari Random Wolf, is a writer, and she's got a book, and she literally just got it published last week, man.
Wow.
So she had a big old show with Rob Wurst, and man, we're so happy for them. So excited.
Wow.
So,
congrats. Wow, I didn't know that.
Big time, right?
That's great, man.
So yesterday I went over to my kids' school, and I did a career day. And I talked all about YouTube and the stuff that I do here. And so we've got one of the kids from the kids' school, Just Gaming. What's going on, Just Gaming? Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it.
Nice.
Super cool. We got the Dorkeries. What's up, the Dorkeries? Just a little podcast. What's up, Cookie? And appreciate you guys stopping by. Arsenio, what up, man? I saw your comment earlier in Rod's show. My art, I have gotten some more art. A lot of these are gifts, though, man. So I'm pretty lucky. But I've got your piece right up here in front of me, man. Always going to cherish that. So when I went to New York, BLC, I met up with Arsenio, and he hooked me up with some art.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That met at Midtown. for that.
Spidey fan, what's up, my man? Broke because of comics. Hey, what's going on? All right, Spidey fan. C Wood, Bueller, what's up, guys? Rod, what's up, man? We were on your channel, Rod, and like I didn't want to stop hanging out with my friends, so I just jumped on and made a live show, man. So if any of you guys want to come on, we're just showing books, we're just hanging out, just talking. So come on over. So I'm gonna shoot this invite to Matt real quick. Bueller, Spidey fan. Anybody else? Let's see, Spidey fan. I think I remember yours. DM me your email. Hey, while I'm doing that, BLC, show us those Immortal Hulk books, man.
All right. Well, let me just show this one real quick. This was a facsimile for the Hulk one. You know, if you didn't get one, definitely you should get one of those.
Nice.
Nice looking old covers. Then, of course, here's the #1 Alex Ross cover, Immortal Hulk's one. That is just like crazy. If you really look deep, you see like the space inside the head and everything in the hand. That is just one of classics.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
This is a variant. Looks like Hulk and Mary Jane are working out. She got the bodysuit on, Spidey and everything. She's like taking a little picture of Hulk's over there, yeah, showing off his muscles. And then I got this one here. More Hulk. Look at that. Nice looking face there and everything. I saw that. I picked up 2 copies. You know, I just like the Hulk face on there. So again, I picked up a lot of stuff, showed off a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff that I had coming in been sitting here since last week.
Yeah,
I had some auction wins that all came in and a whole bunch of books. As you can see, like the whole table's just full of books that I gotta put away. You know, just tons of stuff.
That's good stuff, man. I got a few of the same books that you got this week. I'm loving this run. Have you read it? Valkyrie?
No, I'm sorry. That one I do not have.
Dude, hey, there's Matt right there. This book, I'll throw you in just a sec, Matt. I highly recommend this, man. So super awesome.
It's so difficult. I got so many books.
I know. There's so much to get. Sometimes I do, man. But my son, his name's Captain Gamer, and he likes to do the whole streaming thing and Fortnite and video games and all that. So I personally haven't done any video games on this channel, but my kids are streaming it all the time, man. So I'm gonna have to go check them out. All right, let me throw Matt in here. What's up, Matt?
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Hold on, Matt. How are you? Matt. I got Matt and Matt.
That's right. Double trouble, man.
Matt.
You know, I'm the better looking one.
I beg to differ, my friend.
I would say you have more hair than the other Matt. I'll leave it at that.
There we go.
But you can call me Hairy Matt and Bald Matt.
There you go. I like it. So there I was telling my kids, like, I hate being bald, you know? And my daughter's like, Dad, you're not bald. You have grass back there. She calls it grass, man.
Yeah, well, I got the Mr. Fantastic thing starting here.
Oh, man, I know. Hey, Spidey fan, I sent you the invite. Bueller, I sent you guys the invite. Bubs, C Wood, you guys want to come hang out with us, man? Let me know. We'll throw you in here and just show off some books. And that's what I'm talking about, Rod. Rod, if you want in, let me know, dude. I'll shoot it right back to you, you know? I don't know what you're doing tonight. But
congratulations on the 1,000 subs, Rod. That was cool.
The Dorkery says, I got that Mr. Fantastic look. Embrace it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I remember my dad in his mid-30s or almost 40, silver. You know, he's no longer, his normal hair color. And I'm going, I just want to make it to 30 before I had one gray hair. And so I guess I was blind before. And then my wife said, you got a gray hair. I'm like, no, I don't.
No. You know what, man? I started going bald like right around 21, man.
Really?
Wow. So I started looking creepy, man, with my glasses and that whole little hair thing around here. And I was like, you know what? Every bad movie you see, the creepster has that kind of hair look. You know what I'm saying? With the big old glasses. So I just shaved that stuff off now, man.
Yeah. I used to think my dad was full of shit when he was saying, I'm worth more because of my silver hair. Now I'm using the exact same line.
You know what, though? I'll be honest with you, man. Are you serious, Rod? 21 too, huh? I don't mind the salt and pepper look, man. It's actually pretty nice, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know, right? BLC.
No fair with Grandpa over there.
That's it, man. I still got hair. Still growing out, man. My brother on the opposite. My brother, he started losing hair in the back, but
Did he?
yeah, but my hair still grows pretty thick too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but
yeah. I'm teasing my brother because he wears hats all the time. He's starting to get a little thing right there.
That's where it starts most of the time. That or it starts like in the front and works the way back.
Yeah, that's my family. We have 5 heads, or instead of a 4-head.
Oh man, my brother-in-law one time, I think I was like 24 and he was like 16 or something. Man, we were talking about 4 heads. He's like, Matt has a 5-head, because I was already going really, I was pretty darn bald by that point.
Yeah.
Curses.
Save on haircuts.
Say that again.
You save on haircuts.
I know, it's true, man. I bought my own
shampoo
razor and just good to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no more shampoo, no more conditioner, just soap and body wash.
Right? That's it, man.
I trim my own now. It's pretty much really just top.
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Mine's not even, but it's all right. I put a hat on, I'm good.
Yeah.
Got Coleman Broski's in the chat. What's up, Broski?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Gomez, you're always in and out, bro.
Gomez is like, did you see him? Yeah, I saw him for a second, and then he's gone.
Yeah, man. Rob Worst, what up, dude? Dying Breed Comics, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Okay, so you were the one in 4th grade that asked how many subs. Cool. I remember you. What's up? What's up? So, like I was saying, I went to my kid's school and we did a whole a career day, man. And it was just a blast talking to all the kids, showing them what we do here on YouTube, So, what's up, Bueller?
What's going on, man?
Hey, Bueller. What's going on? Did you bring the ball juice with you?
Not on Matt's channel.
There we go.
This is the juice-free zone.
Let me tell you something. I was watching that live. I was dying laughing when he had Robin D. Kevin and Toro talking about this ball juice. It was like,
Yeah, that was interesting.
What's up, Comic Specter, man? It's a sight for sore eyes right there, man.
Hey, what's going on? That guy.
Look, I got it right the first time. I know what's going on. I just do the opposite of what I naturally want to do, and that's there you go.
Right.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good. Good.
Having a good time.
Bueller, how much do you enjoy that BS show and picking on Sam, man? You're too good at it, man.
What? Here's the thing. As far as the BS show goes, everyone knows me and Sam are like best friends.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And he enjoys it just as much as I do.
He does.
And he looks forward to it every week. We just I just turn it up a little. That's pretty much what it is. It's entertainment is what it is. And but I do have a lot of fun.
Dude, I sit here and I put it on. I think it was yesterday, right? You guys had it on yesterday or the day before?
It's on Wednesdays.
Okay, so 2 days ago.
Yeah, we're gonna start bringing it to the main channel, and we'll see how that goes. But literally everyone who watches it, I mean, as long as they get that it's a joke and we're just having I think everyone's gonna enjoy it because it's a comic book haul video that it doesn't really matter what comics we show or anything that we do because it just is what it is. So and I think it's fun. It's comedy. It's comedy, and I like that stuff. And Sam had no idea what it was going to be when we started.
Yeah.
And so it's been great. So,
man, I just sit here and laugh. I'm like, I'll be doing work right here and you guys are just talking smack to each other. Sam takes it in stride. And it's just so great, man. I'm loving it.
He's a great sport. It doesn't work without Sam. So my hat's off to that gentleman.
That's true. What's up, Spidey fan?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. The weekend is here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, mine's not starting until after tomorrow afternoon. So,
you work tomorrow? I'm sorry, dude.
Well, normally no, but I work building wood furniture in here in Alamosa, and my brother had a massive bed order, and he was delayed and still not done with it today when the order is due. So we're getting pull overtime coming in tomorrow to finish it. So
Cool. Do you get the overtime pay?
yeah, get time and a half, and so
Well, that'll work then.
I mean, it sucks not having 2 full days off, but I'll take the extra money any day right now. So
Well, I'm still on vacation, so I'm enjoying myself.
There you go. There you
Big
go.
Lion Cat, you're like always on vacation. It seems you're going to cons.
I save all my days for the end of the year, and yes, with my schedule, because I work 12-hour shifts, so that means I have a lot of time off. So when I take my vacation, I save everything to the end, and so I'm off a lot.
12-hour shifts, and then you got 7-hour auctions. It's awesome, man.
Man.
That'll be tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Are you guys going hard tomorrow?
Are we Israel? What do you think?
I don't know, man. I might hang with you guys until like 1 or something, but I don't know about that 3, 4 o'clock in the morning stuff, man.
That's crazy. Is there anyone even on at that time? Like,
Yeah,
that's how I got started. Because
people want their comics all day, all night.
They didn't go to sleep. They stayed with us, and we just kept on rolling with it. And it's been like that for a while. So
every Saturday night that I go get like a midnight snack, I'm like, let's see if these guys are still on. I turn it on, midnight my time, and you guys are still going strong, and people are still bidding like at 2 a.m. your time. It's crazy.
Yeah. We see in the chat all the time. You guys are still on. Yeah, people get on and they leave and they come back on again later on. And
Bueller's like the early morning riser, like his coffee addiction. I don't know when you shoot your videos, man, but it's like first thing in the morning, it's already there.
The whole reason why I came on here is because I didn't want to have to shoot another video right now.
Looking for any excuse, right?
I was like, if I can get on there, I don't have to work. I can just hang out with Matt and a bunch of the guys. So I was like, I gotta jump on that.
Hey, Bueller, are you gonna make it to Jet City this weekend? Comic show?
I'm not. I did get some passes offered to me, but I just got some other stuff going on, so I'm not going to be able to.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, it's a small convention in Tacoma, Washington. Shout out to Tacoma Comics, his hometown. But it's this weekend, and I don't know what to expect, Bueller. I don't know if you've been to it before. Is it mostly comic books, or is it like kind of a mix of everything?
I haven't been to that one. That's the one I haven't been to. I think this is their 10th year as well.
Yeah.
And it's just one that every time it comes around, I've always got something going on. It's just time for me to make it. But I say every year I'm going to try to go, and every year something else comes up. So
we've yet to have a chance to meet in person. So hopefully we can get it someday. Maybe Emerald City next year.
You're Pacific Northwest, right?
I used to. So I come here for work sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, what are you doing up there, man?
It's work plus the convention.
Sweet.
I'm gonna go there tomorrow. So
write it off, baby.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Bubs says Bueller looks like Elton John propositioning a toll booth.
What exactly does that look like? I mean, can anyone imagine that in their head? Who's positioning a toll booth operator? And why would be doing it?
I was expecting Bueller to say the difference between you and Elton John is you love women.
I love everyone.
Comic Specter, he just shakes his head.
In the world.
You know what? I've learned it recently that Bubs Comics is a big smack talker, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, man. So, and you guys gonna come on Comic Gories on Wednesday next week?
I definitely want
it on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Wednesday, man. So it's gonna be like a Halloween special Wednesday night. Everyone's like 2 people. It'll be me and John, and then we'll have 2 people at a time, and they'll go head to head. And then whoever wins stays on. We kick the other person off, and then we bring the next guy on, and we just go. And at the end of the night, there'll be a prize and stuff, So, and all the categories are going to be, and this is the only time it'll ever happen, it's going to be Halloween themed, man. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then Bueller, I mean, I know you said if you don't want, there'll be no slabs, so you can always come on, man.
I have slabs. I have 4 of them.
Oh, you got slabs now? When did this happen?
People send them to me.
Yeah.
So,
Bueller, how many books behind you are facsimiles?
just the Action Comics and
Oh, okay. The Hulk 181 is real.
yeah, no, that's
And-
real. The Action Comics and the Amazing
Yeah.
Fantasy are facsimiles. The rest of them are all real.
Oh wow, man, that's
This one's
amazing.
real too.
Yeah, you should sell that really.
Oh, I'm,
really
I'm
quick.
selling this as the first chance I get.
Can you tell us the story around it? I mean, you just kind of alluded to the price at your shop, but like, how did it happen? Did you have to like pre-order it or?
No, it was just sitting on the shelf. It was literally just sitting there.
Awesome.
I was like one of the first people in the shop and at TFA, Thanks for Another World, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting there, and I pushed the guy over and grabbed it. I'm a
Oh,
big guy,
nice.
so he didn't stand a chance. And it's like, "Okay, I'll take it." So I was pretty happy. So it's like a $200 book right now. I can't believe it.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So,
It's crazy.
so what you're saying is when you went in there, you treat him like you saw Sam, right? You just pushed him out of the way, and I was like, all right, and you got in there, right?
I carry Sam on my back whenever we're. Literally, I have a little like holder type thing, like one of those kid things.
Yeah.
He's there with me. He's right there with me.
He stone cold stunnered the other guy and grabbed the book.
I didn't push the guy down, but I tell you this: the guy next to me, I saw the look on his face when I grabbed it. And the look of disappointment came all over his face so fast. He's like, "Oh, like someone kicked him in the nuts or something like that." And I didn't put it back on the shelf, obviously. So his day came to an end. That's too bad.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky as well. First one in the store Wednesday morning. My LCS fortunately doesn't upcharge too much, so I think it was around $5. So you know, paid more, definitely more than cover price, but still, I mean, relative to what they're going for, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they don't sell for more than cover price at that place. So whatever it is on the cover, that's how much you pay for it.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. So, guys, I got a question for you. Something I've been thinking about doing, and let's talk about it, man. I kind of want to be able to alter my channel to, I guess, to feed to or to play to a younger audience. You know.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I want to have like my regular stuff that we always do.
Mhm.
And then I want to be able to do something for kids to get them excited about comic books, you know? So with all my 7 kiddos, I've got kids all the way from 2nd grade to sophomores in high school, right? So I was thinking of kind of trying to do something like top 5 stories of Batman to read that you can get into, you know? Top 10 Marvel stories or hero stories. You know, what are your guys' favorite stuff that you like to read that got you into comics? You have anything that, because I got some of my kids' friends from their school in the chat right now.
Well, hey Matt, real quick, what type of age bracket are you talking about? Because you know, kids can be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, I want to get a younger audience into reading comic books. So I'm thinking anywhere from like 8-year-olds to 12-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard for me because there's a lot of stuff that I love, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, well, I don't know if I would show that to an 8-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I love a lot of like the adventures storylines. So like Justice League adventures, Batman adventures, Superman adventures.
Nice.
So you know, you kind of got the baseline, top tier DC heroes, but in a kind of animated cartoon kind of art style. So you know, it's definitely targeted more for all ages. Even the all ages is appropriate stuff nowadays. I mean, I'm kind of conservative, so you know, the other guys may not agree with me per se, but I wouldn't necessarily put it in front of my kids, even at 9-10 years old. So
yeah.
I think it just depends on the character, really, because as a kid, I remember Sunday morning newspaper. That was my main experience with comic books. Otherwise, it was the Superman storyline, the Superman, you know, graphic novel kind of thing. So I don't know, something like Superman is you know, being a Boy Scout like he is, you're not really going to go too far into an area where you shouldn't go. So it just depends on the character, you know. I wouldn't recommend certain characters if you're trying to do that, but you know, Spider-Man or Superman, you're pretty much solid whatever you choose to do, I'd imagine.
Let's see. We got some people in the chat saying, I saw it. Man from Beantown says, Jim Lee X-Men run got me into comics. Me too, man. That Jim Lee X-Men run.
Yeah.
Yeah, the '90s. Like I started really collecting comics when I was in the '90s, and I was pretty young. I was like my teens, but the stylization of comic books back then during the '90s versus now was quite a bit different.
Yep.
If you look at like the X-Men, we had the Punisher, and back then a lot of those comics were pretty violent. If you look at like the Uncanny X-Men back then, like look at how vicious and savage Sabretooth was versus how a lot of things are. There still is, some ultra violence in comic books now, but back then it seems like there was a lot of like more like pow bam boom in the comic books as far as like now it's more like exposition and story.
It's true.
So I mean, there's like we've been talking though. I mean, you can't go wrong with like the Boy Scout. Superman. Superman's like the go-to. Like kids could read Superman all day long, and it doesn't, there's no swearing.
Yep.
And he's got that, he's the Boy Scout. Kids really like that kind of stuff. So, it's a lot different now, definitely. So
True.
Yeah.
John was saying he read Death of Gwen Stacy, ASM 121 and 122, and that was powerful for him when he was young.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. My only problem that I worry about with going that old, and I mean it's not that old, but going that far back, is sometimes the kids nowadays get turned off by that stuff, And so like if they don't have an adult like sitting there reading with them and inspiring them, they may open up an old story and say, wow, this is kind of boring. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
hey guys, I got to drop real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, brother.
All right.
Second. But I mean, like, I definitely read that to my kids and they love it, but that's because I'm sitting there as their dad reading them that story,
Right.
So, but
I mean, if you go back to where, if you guys remember on television, at one point, all these cartoons were coming out at the same time. The Super Friends were coming out, right? And the G.I. Joe cartoons and the Transformers and the He-Man, the Thundercat type things around that point. At that time, the comic books at that time were, a lot simpler. There wasn't too much graphic. It was easy going for kids when they watched that to read the comic books, and they were getting excited. So that'd be my recommendation around that time, if it's possible, to go back. And I don't think, getting the books coming up now, I think going back a little further, they probably would have enjoyed more, and then ease into it, getting into the modern when they get a little older. So I would go back to that time. I think it was a lot easier for kids at that age to realize and watch everything and read that story back then and then move up.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
What it makes me want to do is literally like invest my time into finding these good stories for kids. You know what I'm saying? Like reading these stories and finding something that I could actually say, okay, I recommend this book. It's good in all aspects,
Then like he's saying, definitely go back to the older books, because nowadays like 90% of the stories are just like flash in the pan, short runs, stuff like that. Like you don't get like the really good Claremont runs and things of that nature like we had way back, way back now, but so I'd definitely go back to like the 80s. The 80s were a really solid time. It was before the 90s ultra violent stuff really started kicking in with all the other Image and all that stuff. I mean, there's a ton of stories. Like you probably get like some good graphic novels from that era. Definitely.
I just read my kids, and so I'll tell you, my three youngest I take and we go to the room at night and we read them comic books. And so my two youngest are girls and they are 7 and 8, and then my son, he's 10. And so I just read them Batman: A Death in the Family when Jason Todd is killed by Joker, right? But even that story, even though it's a really, I mean, it could be a mature, I mean, it is a mature subject matter of Joker killing Robin, but it isn't that horrible. So it's not too graphic. It's not too ugly. It's a reality that happened and that happens in life. We lose people. But like after I read them that, they loved it. They were excited. They wanted to keep going. So now we're in a lonely place for dying, and they're okay with it, but that's because I'm there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know if I could tell some other kid here, go read this by yourself, unless their parents were involved making that decision. And poor Mike said that. He's like, you just got to get kids' parents involved, which is true. But I just see how these kids, like, when I went to the school the other day, they're telling me how much YouTube they watch.
That's kind of a problem.
That's the thing, man. Like, I've walked in on my kids watching YouTube a few times, and I'm like, okay, like I'm really not liking this. Let's turn that off, Or, hey, you're sitting here watching this dude play Fortnite for the last 3 hours. Why don't you go play Fortnite and stop watching this other guy play Fortnite? You know what I'm saying? Like,
my son will spend hours watching some guy play Fortnite. And the other one, what the point is? Also 7 hours watching Big Lion Cat. His auction, because that's fun to watch and the interaction there. But to sit there watching someone else play a game, no, I'll play the game myself. Thank you very much.
I don't get that either. My oldest grandson, he does the same thing. He watches and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is interesting to you?
It is a form of entertainment for them.
Like I've sat there and watched a little bit with them, some of the guys that joke as they're playing games, and it's funny, it's actually entertaining. And you see these guys have millions of subscribers and you're like, wow. But I'd rather these kids, like, I really want to start getting my channel to the point where a kid from my kid's school could jump on and say, this is really interesting. I'm going to go pick up this comic and ask my parents to buy it, And so I've got to come up with some type of show or some type of release that I do, like Bueller, where it's every week, the same time. And it's just specifically geared towards 8 to 12-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think a good person to have input on that would definitely be John's Comics with Kids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he does it with his, and I think that he does really well. And I think that, like what you're saying, goes a long way in the fact that it has a lot to do with adults, parents, older individuals from the family stepping in and actually doing those things with them. That goes a long way with anything in your life, So like for instance, I remember like the main reason I started reading comic books was because my uncle brought a box of books down from the attic. And the fact that he sat down and like, man, one of my first books was Fantastic Four, and it was some early Bronze Age stuff, and it just blew me away. It was one of those things that it'll always be there for me. And like you do those things with your kids, 20 years from now they'll still remember that, just like we do today, Yep.
Yeah, man.
Like spending time with the kids, because I just went to Baltimore and I just took my grandson for the first time to his
I saw those pictures, man. That was cool.
And the kid, he goes, that grandpa, I want to see the Avengers. And I'm like, what? What'd you say? He wants to see the Avengers. I'm like, this kid knows the Avengers? We're walking in. He's like, he knows that's Batman. He knows that's Spider-Man. He knows that, I'm like, how the hell this kid knows all this already? And let me tell you, he had a ball there and he could name characters. And the kid's only 3-4 years and he loves it. And he wanted to go every day. I had a 3-day pass and he went every single day. He just wanted to. He's got action figures. I had to get him. And he knows, he'll name them. Spider-Man, Hulk. Hulk is one of his favorites. He's got a Venom. I mean, the kid just loves it, man. He'll sit down and he sees me watching cartoons or whatever, and he starts watching it. He'll start naming them and everything. He'll come in, he starts looking at my book, and he'll start pointing. He'll see, oh, that's the Hulk on the cover. You go, yeah. And, I'm hoping that trend right there will continue, and then he'll pick up and then he'll enjoy this like I did. And I'll help him along with it. I'll take him to more cons. I'll show him some books and everything, and hopefully it'll stick. And something like that, great hobby to have.
Yeah, it's true. Very true, man.
The biggest markets that are going right now are the trade paperback market and the anime comic market.
Yeah.
And the biggest gains they're having are with the demographic that you're talking about with the kids. It's like 80%. Is that age group that you're talking about is buying that content. They're buying the trade paperbacks and they're buying the comic anime books.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff that we collect type thing, it's not really growing. It's kind of staying stagnant. It's the anime stuff that's growing.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you dive into that, I think that's something you want to focus on, because it's just a market. I think it gets overlooked. But if you go look at any sales or whatnot, it's all anime and trade paperbacks, which just is up by like hundreds of percentiles in comparison to the other stuff, and it's all younger age group for that model.
Yeah, that's true, man. I'm glad I'm talking to you because like I love anime, Dragon Ball Z. My kids are into My Hero Academia right now, and I've been thinking about Tim, the comic collector. He does that stuff on his channel too, and it's going to help me focus because I really want to do this, like put something out weekly and recommend trades the kids can pick up and their parents, you know.
Yeah.
And then when I do that show, like a little 1 minute segment, just give my parental, what's it called? I guess not review, but like warnings or ratings, you know, like, hey, this has a swear word in it, and this has alcohol and drug use or something. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you can get kids reading some more, you know?
Yeah, I love those Dragon Ball Z books. It was my favorite show as a kid.
Oh, same.
Yeah, that's true too. Is that it's a lot about marketing. Like the majority of like the comic industry now seems to be geared more towards like an older, like us, like an older demographic, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to being, you know, more towards, you know, teenagers or young children. Yeah, there's the occasional, you know, there'll be like a young comics type thing that gets released for a short period of time, but in general, it doesn't seem to really take trade paperbacks like Bueller's saying. Trade paperbacks are really where it's at if you want to try to get like kids involved, I feel. And also you're looking at price point. Like what kid is really going to be able to afford to go to like a comic shop and spend like $4 or $5 a pop when you can get when you can go on one book when you can buy a trade paperback for like $10 and it collects like 10 to 15 issues, right?
Yeah, it's a good point.
And then and like we said too, is that it's really about interaction. Like that's the biggest thing is interaction with older people. You know, it's just it's kind of hard. You know, like we were just talking about YouTube, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, kids, teenagers, whatnot, they watch YouTube and not necessarily like you're really good with your kids. A lot of people in our community are great with their kids. They have like tons of interaction with them. But as a society, as a whole, it goes another direction.
Yeah.
A lot of people turn their kids over to Fortnite, YouTube, whatever the device may be, to be the parent. You know, they're not really there for their kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you do a great job, and that maybe, you know, that can be something that's instilled in your kids for a later on type thing.
Yeah.
But it's just trade paperbacks seem to be where it's at right now. Anime, I know I really enjoyed anime. Like I was a big DBZ guy myself.
Yeah.
And if you go to I don't know if Barnes and Noble does it, but like Second and Charles around where I'm at, they're really big with. They have tons and tons of like anime novels and stuff of that. And Bueller's right. Like that stuff seems to just like fly off the shelves because I'll be over in the bins looking at books. The younger kids, they're over in like the anime section. They're not looking at the stuff that we're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to raise my kids without a Nintendo 64.
Yes, baby.
Yes, baby. So many horrible nights. It's like, here, just play this.
Yeah.
Gotta have a video game system. Gotta have a video game system.
Man, 007 GoldenEye.
Oh man, that was
Legend
it.
of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. I mean,
Mario Kart 2-player.
Yes.
I played so much of A Link to the Past.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I gotta tell you how long hours I spent playing Super Smash Brothers and Nintendo 64. I would go to the practice area, slow time down, and practice fighting the computer in slow motion to just get better at reacting to computers. Yeah. I was actually training like it was the Olympics.
Yeah, man. So when I was a kid, my mom and dad at first were like, "There's no way we're having video games in the house, right?" So my mom and dad got in a little tiff, and my dad, I guess he felt a little spicy, so he went out and he's like, "We're gonna get a Nintendo." And so we went to Toys R Us and bought the NES. Man, came home, and so maybe like a month later, I hear my mom screaming in the middle of the night, and I run to her room because I'm freaking out as a little 8-year-old kid. And she's fighting Ganondorf in Legend of Zelda. She got addicted to the game, just going hardcore, man. Good old NES, man.
As I say, not as I do.
Right? No, it was so much fun. She'd play with us after that. We'd play. Our favorites were Super Mario 3 with the tail. We'd also play Castlevania, Simon's Quest. That was so good.
That was so awesome.
Such a good game, man. So Legend of Zelda, the original. I mean, there's so many good games on that. Ninja Gaiden. So
The bad dudes.
I feel you, Bueller. N64. Those were my early preteen years, man. That was some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I remember the beginning and before even that, Atari came out, and television and ColecoVision were the top first three that could ever come out. And once that came out, everybody was just playing nonstop with that. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
Later on, Sega came out, Genesis, and then Nintendo, and then PlayStation, and then that's why everything just started popping in. That was just craziness and all these different video games. Ooh, that just took off.
Well, and that's where a lot of the attention diverted from, like, our hobby to the digital entertainment. You know, like I was really young when I started reading comics, so that I think that's all what has a lot to do with it sticking with me. And then when I got into being like a teenager, that's when I started hanging out with my friends from school, and of course they all had these video game systems, and I got away from, I wasn't really collecting comic books during that time frame at all. I was hanging out with my buddies, playing video games, going to arcades, and then doing other stuff outside. And then it wasn't until I was like in my 20s that I was like, oh man, I remember collecting comic books. And then I went back and started like doing that again. So it's a completely different medium, and it just grabs your attention on a whole nother level. So it's easy to steal kids away that way.
Yeah, man. So one of my son, you guys know Timmy, right? That does the unboxings with me and stuff, and he's in the Green Lantern show with me and Matt Thanatos. So his best friend is in the chat. His name's Josh, and he's a huge Flash fan, man. He loves the Flash, and so he's asking where he should get started. And somebody said, I think it was John. He says Flash Rebirth and Flash. Somebody else said, where is it? Flashpoint. Any of you guys have any knowledge on Flash books that he could get started on? Maybe some trade paperbacks?
Well, I like the Flash series that's going on right now. Okay, it's on 81 issues. It's all been written by the same guy. Joshua Williamson has written the whole run. He's like one of the only guys that has that long of an ongoing book right now that he's written every single issue. Those are really affordable too. I mean, you can pick those up. There's no like big keys in that run. And he just finished the year one storyline, which was, I think it was like 6 issues. And that just finished maybe a couple months ago. Yeah. And those books are still available for less than cover price, cover price. And it's a great jumping on point for that series, because it's basically year one. It's basic. If you don't know much about Flash, you could grab that book and get those 6 issues, and you'd be all caught up type thing. So that's what I recommend.
Year one almost like restart the whole background story kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, other than Rebirth, I wouldn't know where to really begin. Although, like I said, because for me, Barry Allen's always the Flash, so it's Rebirth forward. So, I wouldn't do Wally West is cool and all that, but he's not. He wasn't Flash. So yeah, if it wasn't Rebirth, I'd start with, like you said, the current run.
I agree, man. I picked up Flash when Rebirth came out, issue 1, Rebirth, and then issue 1, 2, 3, 4. And when Godspeed came in, it was such good writing. I fell in love with Godspeed, that character, So that'd be a good trade he could pick up, or find the single issues like Bueller is saying. What about Flashpoint, guys? I think that's a pretty good one.
Pretty good. I mean,
so that's a good character to pick. I mean,
Yeah. And Josh, honestly, dude, you're over here all the time. I've got all of those you can borrow. I've also got a whole bunch of old Silver Age
How old is he?
trades. He's 17.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah,
man.
definitely. Those are definitely good reads. I was wondering about the age.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's 17,
Yeah, he's 17.
Because that's another thing that I worry about is like we have some storylines that we just absolutely love, like Batman Hush, The Dark Knight Returns, things of that nature that are because we're older, some storylines resonate more with us as adults now.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like knowing who you're trying to get interested in that content.
Yeah,
a lot of the storylines got me interested when I was young, type thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if they'll resonate to the, you know, today's youth or whatnot, but they definitely did to me. I mean, when some of those books came out, you know, like the Dark Knight and stuff like that, and you know, I was young at the time, but when I read it, that and like Arkham Asylum, that book, that was another one. Like, wow, you know, I read that book. I was like, this is different from the Super Friends book I just read a week earlier, type thing.
Yeah,
and it sparked my interest way more because I was like, okay, I get the conflict between the good guy and the bad guy, but this is kind of shades of gray type thing, and that's much more interesting than, you know, the good guy wins at the end and everyone's happy type thing.
right.
So I think a little bit more, you know, when you're 17 or 16 or even a teenager, whatnot, I think you would probably enjoy a little bit more complexity to the stories. I know I do.
Definitely, yeah, I can completely agree with that. I remember being a teenager and reading, like, you know, pretty much like the Boy Scout, you know, stories. Like my cousin would bring me, you know, some Batman books and Superman stuff of that nature, and then I would go to like my local supermarket and they had who was it? Ghost Rider and Punisher.
Yes.
And it was, is it Danny Ketch? Is that his name?
Yeah, Danny Ketch.
That version of the Ghost Rider, when that run started, it was like I was a teenager, and it was just like, it was really gritty to me, and it resonated with me. I was like, whoa! I was like, man, this is dark and kind of mature for me. Yeah, exactly, that right there. That storyline, I was like, holy crap, this is wicked.
Yep.
So like, it's kind of like it's finding a sweet spot where you're at age wise. Like like Bueller, you're saying you're when you're becoming a teenager, I think that like these more like mature, not like overly complicated, but
right,
like a bit more gritty, you know, storylines, things of that nature will resonate more with teenagers. You know, if Boyhood 7, like he's saying, he's trying to get at like a younger crowd. Yeah, probably more go with, you know, the more like the Boy Scout books and stuff, and then move on from there. But again, I think the biggest thing is just being involved with the kids. You know, like show them what you like, and then find out what they like, and then run with what they like. You know, and then they're gonna grow with that. So like, you know, you might start them out with My Little Pony or whatever the case may be that they enjoy, but then, you know, in a couple of years when you take them to a Comic-Con or something, they're going to see, like, you know, they'll see Batgirl or something,
Yep.
or a Starfire, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, check that out. And then you'll take them over to a booth and grab them a trade paperback or something, and then they'll be like, oh, this is what I want, Dad, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, don't forget, you know, those other books that were out there that was for teenagers. Remember Archie's and them?
Mhm.
You know, that was all basically teenage stories, you know, basically trying to relate, you know, teenage years, you know. So again, you know, those stories, I read them. I mean, you know, Jughead and Archie and Reggie and all, and Betty and Veronica, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, there were good stories also to
Mhm.
there. I mean, they, again, you know, they should relate to their kid's age. So
McFarlane's Spider-Man run from the 90s.
So good.
I remember being little, man, and reading this story with the voodoo girl and just like freaking out, but like needing to read the next issue, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just such good art and such
Yeah.
a story. I mean, that's
See,
another really good one.
and that's why I say go back to those books. Like, go back to those like late 80s, early 90s books.
Yep.
Because the stuff now, man, like, I don't really like the majority of the artwork in the books, and a lot of the storylines are like, so.
Yeah. No, I know, man. Some of the ones that I have picked up recently that I didn't read before because I wasn't a big DC guy. Superman Secret Origin. I think it is John's too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yep, Jeff Johns. Like, this was a sick read, man. Super good. And then sticking with Jeff Johns, the whole Green Lantern run.
Oh, dude.
My goodness. Like, if I was going to recommend anything to kids that like 17, 14 that want to read that, Hey, take care, poor Mike. Thanks for stopping in, brother. I appreciate you. A lot of people think Green Lantern's a loser. You know, I honestly have had a lot of people say it to me. Timmy, my son, since we've been reading it together, he's got all his Green Lantern shirts and he goes to school and they're like, "Oh, he's such a loser character." And Timmy's like, "You need to read what I've been reading, and your mind will be changed."
Yeah, that's the thing is that with Green Lantern, like, man, there are some like just absolutely phenomenal long runs of great books, but then there's also like huge dead runs where, and that's what a lot of kids, you know, they're like, yeah, exactly, want. So like, you know, we're like, oh man, Blackest Night, Brightest Day, like these huge epic storylines, right? And when you introduce that to your kids, man, that's right, man. They're like, Green Lantern's the bomb. Yep. And then they go to school and they're like, their friends are like, yeah, Green Lantern, no.
Right. No, man, Timmy fights everybody. He's like, I guarantee you, if I bring my book from home and you read it, you will be a Green Lantern fan. You know. So also,
I like Green Lantern. My
Green
Lantern is John Stewart. Hal Jordan's cool and all that, but I guess it was the Justice League animated show when it was John Stewart, and so it was
that's cool.
And so it was like when Hal Jordan was like, "This is different," and then I never liked Guy Gardner. He's just a punk, and he'd be put in his place.
Yeah, that guy was a little bit of a punk, man, for sure.
Guy Gardner.
Again, these kids are saying that Green Lantern, meaning they really don't know themselves who Green Lantern is. You know what I'm saying? They haven't read those stories.
Yeah.
On top of the head, they're just saying what comes off the top of the head. Oh, Green Lantern, yeah.
Jessica Cruz.
You know, before, you know, if you read the Green Lantern story, if you really looked into it, you're going to find out, hey, you know.
Well, that's just it. That's just it, BLC, is like Boyhood 7 said, is that a lot of it has to do with being introduced to like the correct storylines to truly become a fan of any character. Because if you just walk into like a comic store and you pick something off the shelf and you don't know, you look at the cover and you're like, oh, this looks kind of cool, but then you open the book and you like read through the whole thing and you just wasted like 15 minutes of your time, and then you're just like, that character's like garbage. And so like you don't have any, you know, predisposition other than what you just saw. You don't have, you know, your dad or, you know, an older brother or something who's like, no, come here, let me show you this. And then, you know, like, wow, checked out this awesome storyline, this great artwork. Man, what have I been missing, right?
Right. Read this Green Lantern book.
Well, like with Infinity Gauntlet, a lot of people just pick up the trade for Infinity Gauntlet, which is amazing. It's my favorite story ever written. But if you don't get the Silver Surfer Thanos resurrection and all the stories that come in between, there's so much goodness there too. That's why I fell in love with Silver Surfer. You know, I picked up all those single issues that were tie-ins to that story, and I love Silver Surfer since the 90s. You know, when I was reading that stuff as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. You know, so you're right. I mean, and that was all given to me by my brother-in-law, just like you. Kind of, your uncle came down with a stack. My brother-in-law was dating my sister at the time, and I think if I was 8, he was 14, something like that. And he came over to my house, and I guess he wanted to look good for my sister or something. But he brought me a stack of comic books, and he put them on my bed, and included was Infinity Gauntlet story and also Death of Superman. So I picked those up, started reading, and those are the two stories that just got me into collecting comics. You know.
Yeah.
So said, you know, there was a point back then where everything was about superheroes. You know, like I said, television, you change channel, you can find, like I said, Super Friends on, an Aquaman show, Batman was on, Spider-Man was on. It was just like nonstop superheroes. So kind of, you know, from watching the television shows, and back then you can walk into a store, just a regular, and they had comic books. You walked into the train station in New York, comic books. They were like all over the place. So, you know, when you're there doing nothing and your mom's like doing something, and you see these comic books, you're like, you know, you look, you read, and you just picked up because it's all over the place. It's on television, it's in front of you, you know. So it's like you just read, and then once you got into watching the television show, the movies and stuff, you know, and then you're reading the books, you know, that was a big jump flow right there. That was for superheroes wherever you were. It was like the thing at the time, you know, it was like the hottest thing, and everybody was talking about it. Everybody was reading it. Everybody was watching on television. Yeah. So at that point, you know, it kind of, your friends were doing it, you was doing it. So it kind of worked out at that point. But then, you know, once again, when you get a little older, you fade, you start to do little other things, but then, like you said, you hey, what about my comic books? And then you go right back to it, and then you're right back to it, and you notice that, hey, this is fun, and you just like start all over again.
Yeah,
I think that's something that helped like really change like comic books for our age bracket was the inception of the Antiheroes.
Yeah.
Like we had like, you know, the Punisher come, you know, you had Deadpool, and then you had some like pretty dark and gritty heroes, like again, like we were talking about, like Ghost Rider for our age. The X-Men got pretty edgy for a while, you know, things of that nature. So they got away. They kind of got away from like the overall like trending. Just the good guys always win. It's always the Boy Scout, and it got more into, you know, like the good guys can lose, and are they gonna, you know, what's gonna happen next? And I think that became more of a draw for us than just like every single, you know, month, just more or less like, oh hey, Superman beats the crap out of so and so, and then that's it. You know, like when we were reading books, it was like, oh my gosh, Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man! Sabretooth just beat the crap out of him, and then Wolverine's like all like, let's go, bub, and it's just like, you know.
Yeah. Or for me, even Spidey and Venom, man, like,
oh yeah,
there's no way Spidey can lose, and then all of a sudden Venom's just kicking his trash all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
And then Venom turns kind of good, you know, and it's like
Antihero. Yeah.
There's something
because Carnage came around, and then Venom's like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still eating people, but hey, whatever.
Tell me about those stories where the hero you don't expect to loses. Like me, that's one of the reasons why Superman 75 is so good and all that is you don't this guy who nothing can beat him dies. It's like not possible. And it draws you.
Yep. I think Doomsday, like, just thinking about him, that's one scary bad guy, man. I mean, once you kill him one way, you can't die that way ever again. You know what I mean? Like, have you guys read what's it called? I'm going blank now. Where Doomsday, Superman rips him in half, and then the gas comes out of him, and then Superman breathes it in and starts to turn into Doomsday. Have you read that story?
Oh, Superman Doomed or Doomsday?
Superman Doomed.
Yeah, I've read one or two of that.
I have the whole thing, man, and that guy is just unbeatable. And they got to stick Doomsday like somewhere far away just to deal with him, you know. So. Yeah. See, I love history and how people came to be, enjoy reading stories of characters.
Yeah,
cool.
You know, you forget, like you said, those villains that come out, they're more dangerous now. They're putting the hurting on the heroes. Before the heroes never used to get a scratch or whatever. Now the heroes are bleeding. They're getting cut up. They're getting beat up. Look at Bullseye. Bullseye was just a killer, you know, and he could just kill you with anything. I'm like, how scary can that be?
Yeah,
you could just throw something at you, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
One story I don't recommend for kids, but man, I love the heck out of it is Old Man Wolverine, or Old Man Logan. I mean,
oh yeah,
my gosh, man,
not for kids though. Not
for kids at all. But that book is legit, man.
Well, Old Man John's comics with kids.
There you
go. He reads every one of those series, I think.
Hey, Matt, how old did you say Josh was?
He's 17, man.
Tell him to jump on the X-Men books right now.
Yeah.
If he's looking to jump on something right now, that's perfect. I know what X-Men did for me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
At that age.
Oh yeah.
And he's not going to go wrong with that writer with being a reboot and everything after these last. How many did we get? 12 issues for the reboot.
12, yeah.
Hickman.
It's a perfect time to jump on X-Men.
Yeah. Bueller, what do you think about that? Like, if you never knew who or what the X-Men or the X universe was, and then you read House of Powers for the very first time, do you think you would understand what was going on?
That's a great question. I don't know if I could wrap my head around that, to be honest, because I'm so ingrained in
right.
X-Men, taking myself out of that, because even people who don't read the X-Men, they've heard of the X-Men.
Right. They've heard of these characters and whatnot.
Yeah, my mom knows who Wolverine is, but she's heard of the X-Men. She's never read an X-Men book.
Yep.
But I think, for that age, and that's why I asked how old he was, 17. Right. I think that's right.
Catch on.
If you're old enough to drive a car, you're old enough to read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good test. It'd be a good test, man. I'm assuming your son's seen maybe one or two, or at least of the X-Men movies, or no?
My kids have seen all of them. Josh has already seen Joker, so he's good.
Oh wow. Okay. I thought you would have vetoed that movie, man.
You know what? Josh is my son's best friend, so my kids haven't seen it yet.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, he's in the chat.
Josh has.
All right, cool.
So he's.
You know what's really. Hey, just to support what Bueller just said, at one of my shops that I go to, there a couple months ago, there's these two boys, teenager boys, probably around 17, 18, who just started showing up at this comic shop. And I'm like, hey, where did you guys come from? And, what brought you to this store? And they're like, oh, man, X-Men, the House of X, Powers of 10, and Spider-Man. Like, these are the two things that have brought us in. And said, did you read comics beforehand? And they're like, no, we're brand new to the hobby, and we love it. And they're like there every Wednesday now, right before the store opens. They're not speculators, they're not collectors. They're just there to read the story, and they can't wait to find out what's happening next, right? What's Hickman gonna do next? And that was super encouraging. I thought that was really cool.
I think Hickman has done a really good job in rebooting it. It honestly reminds me of like the pacing of the story and the action reminds me a lot of like Claremont's like 90s run, where it was like fast paced, tons of action, violent, but it's not gory. So the younger people, teenagers, things that they can really enjoy it. I think it's like he's saying, it's a great place to jump on. Seriously, I've been thoroughly enjoying it myself.
Yeah, I mean,
what's rare is to have two books like that. I actually feel that way about Absolute Carnage as well.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm a huge fan, but that one's a little bit more gory.
Yeah,
sure. But if these are teenagers, I mean,
that the Hickman and Powers and House was like I saw the movies and I love the TV show, but I never liked the X-Men comics. This completely was like the first time I ever was like, God, I love this. I couldn't get enough.
Cool, dude.
Oh yeah.
So the $50,000 question that Marvel wants to know is: are you guys and gals out there picking up all of the new X titles because of this?
No,
you're still being selective.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
look at it like going back to like when they have like the X teams, like gold, purple, blue, purple horseshoes teams. Like there's some of those storylines are going to be good. Don't get me wrong, but a ton of it is just going to be nonsense filler that like none of us are going to care about. They're probably throwing some first appearances just to try to, up the sales.
Variants.
Things of that nature. But I think that like the House of X, Powers of 10, like those were really, really good jump on points, and maybe pick up like X-Men or I don't know, just it's just too much. It's just too much.
I felt the way you did, man. I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm getting any of these. I'm just gonna go straight X-Men.
Yeah.
And then I read Powers of 10, the last issue, and I was like, okay, I got to get all of them now.
No, dude.
It sucked me in. Well, I've got Marauders right here, right next to me. So like,
I like the one of the bonuses for me is that the House of Powers was it's like the 12th series. It's the enclosed story. I like being able to read the whole story, but I can't afford issues going forward. I have to pay my money for books like this.
I saw that, man.
I can't afford all these new books every week and then grab my Silver Age, back issue, Early Fantastic Four, and Amazing Spider-Man. I had to have money for those.
What's up, Contender? Yeah, I battle with that all the time, and that's why I was saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go X-Men 1 and stick with it. And then I read it, and I was just so excited about it, man. And I thought, you know what, I'll pick up the first issue of all of them. And then if I read it and I'm like, no, this is not for me, then I'll just drop it after that,
Yeah, in the chat, Hudat says that he heard Marauders was great, and he's picking all of them up, at least the first 4 issues of each. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Marvel ends up compiling these series, right? Like, is it going to be a trade with all of the titles for the first few issues, or is it going to be like you got to buy 5 trades, one for each series? That'll be crazy if you had to do that.
What they'll do is they'll do trade paperbacks for like probably the first 10 issues of every single series, okay? and then a year from now,
Omnibus.
they'll have an omnibus
Yeah.
with all of them intertwined.
That'd be awesome.
Double the money.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
gotta make a whole bunch of money
Yep.
off the thing,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
You know what the difference between, you know, the younger generation now going into a comic book store is with so many different titles, so many different companies that we didn't had to go through. When we started, when we went, it was either DC or Marvel.
Yeah,
That was
Mhm.
it. And the titles were long runs. There's
Yep.
your Batman, there's your Spider-Man. So those were your picks. So it was picking whatever it was a long run. The story kept going. The choices were limited. Now, forget it. There's so many books.
Too many choices.
Cut
Too
the
many.
title, they start another one. They do it. I mean, it's crazy. It's ridiculous.
I remember when this stuff came out.
Shadowhawk, I remember
Mhm.
Shadowhawk.
That back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't keep up with how many titles there are. You look, if you go back, like right now, there's like over 100 Marvel titles, and DC has like about half that. Okay.
Yeah.
So to try to keep up with all this is just absolute insanity. When we were younger, you didn't have that much.
There's a video that comes out every Wednesday that kind of helps you with that. I could
Plug.
Can you tell us about that, man? I'm not sure if I know
Yeah.
about it.
You want to plug that? What is that again, sir?
It's just a video that comes out on Wednesdays at 2:00.
Hold on. Whoa. Let me write this down.
What channel is it?
Hold on,
Economics and comics I hear.
The guy that knows all these books all the time. There you go.
You know what, Bueller? On one of your times we've been talking together, you're like, I just hope someone watches me and like picks one of my shows that I do a week. That's the one I picked, man. So I watch yours every Wednesday, man.
Probably gonna move that show to a different day.
Hey, you know,
Days it now.
sometimes we kind of get lost in this bubble, right? Where we're all collecting comics and watching other comic collectors on YouTube. But you know, if you guys if you're familiar with Comicron, they kind of publish some of the estimate sell through. They're not print runs, but they're sell through to stores in North America. And I was just looking all the books that came out in September were published a few days ago, and Powers of X and House of X 5. According to Comicron.com, the estimated units were about 130,000. So, as popular as we think this series has been and has exploded, I mean, it's not huge, right? It's big. It's certainly big for Marvel, but it's certainly not 8-9 million, right?
Yeah,
I don't think we'll ever be there again with this medium.
We probably won't.
Honestly. Not unless we get like nuked back to the dark ages and we got to reboot.
Yeah.
Does that include digital copies? And
It doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
But digital copies are around 10 to 15% of what physical copies are. So whatever physical copy sales are, about 10 or you can add 10 or 15% to that, and that's usually the digital copy sales for a Marvel or say DC title. It's different on independent titles and other stuff, but on the big two, Marvel and DC, it's really around 15 to maybe 20%.
Yeah,
it's very low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so if you see a book like Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, which there are a lot of people in the speculation community that like hype that.
Yeah,
I mean, dudes, like the number for issue 47, 5,291 copies sold through.
Here's my question: how many of those copies actually are in somebody's home?
Right?
Because that's the store bought them.
That's the store, right?
How many are still sitting in the store or some box forgotten because no one cares,
Or in Bueller's 50-cent boxes that he's gonna jump into here in a month or so.
Yeah, probably that's why I'm waiting for a Marauder like next
right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say earlier. Like I always do mystery boxes, so if I pick up all the first XMen titles, and I don't like some of them, well, good. It'll go into a mystery box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's how like the Detective Comics 1000 came out. Everybody bought it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to because there's so many.
Yeah.
So many.
Sure enough, man, I picked up 20 copies at 50 cents a piece.
Wow.
Like, about 3 months after it
Crazy.
came out. It's going to be the same thing with Action Comics 1000. They ordered just a ton of them. At least the place I go to did. And, everyone jumped on it. And Sam bought 2 of them. I was like, why are you buying 2 of them? If you just wait a couple months, I guarantee you can get that for like $1.
Yeah.
But he had to have it. But I wait when I see a title and I know that there's
a bunch of them.
The Marauders on the shelf or whatnot. They're not going to sell through those. They're going to sell through the 1 or 2 copies they have of some other title. So I better get it. But the ones I see just a tons of, like the one I see a ton of right now is that Batman, the White Knight.
Yeah.
There's just tons of copies on the shelf, man. And I'm like, I want to buy it, but then I tell myself, man, it's going to be in their half off bin next month.
70% off Midtown sale for sure.
Yeah,
exactly. So I just hold off, type thing. And it's taken me a long time to be able to do that.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, man. I think about doing that all the time, and I never do it, man. Like you just heard, I just jumped on all the different X-Men titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, kick myself, man.
I'd say, Bueller, the 2 things that would make me want to buy the book when it comes out is, I mean, there's certainly the element of FOMO and all that. Like, I gotta have it too, right? But and I know you don't subscribe to this, but if you're like super particular about condition, then you may not want to take the chance, right, of like buying it half off or 70% off or in the dollar bin. Yeah, there you go. Specter's big time on that. So I'd be more willing to pay full cover price to be able to pick and choose the one I really want. But other than that, you're right. A lot of these titles you can just kind of wait on it.
Yeah. The longer you wait, like you said, and they're in the store, people are looking through, they move it around. They have it in their hands. They're bending this. They're looking at that. If you get it when it came out, and you got it brand spanking new. You look at it, you're like, okay, this is my perfect condition. Bam.
I went kind of crazy on Tech 1000, but
tell us the truth, Specter. How many different copies?
I got a lot. Of them.
And
man.
I bet they weren't $9.99 either. They were probably like $15-$25.
Actually,
right?
No.
Okay.
I like to when I got them, I did preview pre-orders, and I got them for about half price.
Sweet.
But then I also got them. I got them through discount. Oh, what is that? Discount books.
DCBS.
Yeah, and they actually had ones that were like 60% off. Like they were crazy cheap before they were even released. So I bought a few of them, and primarily I'm an absolute sucker when it comes to artwork. And I understand that that's a huge part of our medium.
That's me too. Yeah.
So like when I see an absolutely just like gorgeous cover that resonates with me, I'm gonna get it, and I'm probably gonna get a few of them, and I'm either gonna like send them to like people I know, or auction them or whatever. But to me it's all part of it. Yeah, it's all part of it. I love the artwork, and it kind of sucks, like Bueller's saying, it's 3 months, 4 months from now. For a lot of people that like you're saying, end up paying like $15-$20 or whatever the cover price was for it, pretty high.
Yeah.
For the common person that just walks into the store and ended up picking up like 5 copies of it, I feel bad for those people. That really, it's a punch right in the gut.
What's worse is literally today, this afternoon, I was in a shop and a guy came in asking about Detective Comics 1000, and the clerk sold him the hardcover special edition of Detective Comics 1000, which I don't know how much it was, but I'm pretty sure it's probably like $30-$40. I'm like,
no.
You should have said, hey, I got a buddy that has like 30 copies, and I would have probably just sent you one for free.
Right? I'd probably never be welcome in that store ever again if I did that.
Is that the first appearance of the Arkham Knight, or what is that?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the next one, I think. 1001.
Cameo, maybe?
Yeah, right.
It's not.
There was something even before then, right?
It's the bringing into the universe. But he was actually in like Genesis on the comic book for the game series.
Am I the only one seeing that Specter's way off?
He turned into Mr. Roboto.
I know, like domo arigato.
Specter, your internet's.
Specter, something happened, brother. You just started cutting out. All of it, you guys were all just kind of just staring at him, just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so I thought everyone was
We
listening.
all thought it was us. We all thought
Yeah.
Enjoying the man.
I wanted to say something. Is it just me, or but no one else can say
I
anything?
was waiting for somebody else to say something. They seen it too. I don't want to say
My,
it.
can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
All right.
Hey man, thanks for the invite, man. I gotta pull in NYC here and actually eat some dinner. So thank you everybody. It was awesome to chat with y'all, and have a great night. Okay, we'll
Good
talk
hanging
with you later.
Thanks, brother.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I guess Specter, you're saying that the character was in a game before or something like that.
Yeah, they brought him in. What was it? Arkham Knight? Or am I a robot again?
I don't know why, but it reminds me of something from Star Wars. Specter, you're off, brother. You're so off, man.
You know, I'm a big fan of the art as well, but I have such a hard time paying more than $5 for a book. You know, when I look at a book and I see that it's marked up from cover price, it's so hard for me to buy a brand new book for more than what it says on the book, and I just do it. I like the Marauders book that came out. I guess there was an incentive one that had like it looked like Emma Frost. I don't know for sure if that's who it was on the cover, but it was really cool. It looked awesome. It was like a 1 in 25 or 50 or something like that. One store had it for $25. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then another store had it for like $10. And so I was at that store. I had it in my hand. I was like, man, this looks really nice. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. It was more than cover price. It goes against everything I believe in. And so I couldn't do it. So I stuck it back there and somebody else bought it type thing.
Yeah.
Just, you know, every week there's such good artwork that comes out.
Yeah.
How you keep up to date with all the stuff that you see, and especially when I'm looking for covers and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh man, that looks awesome. That looks awesome. I immediately know I'm never going to get that. That's what I do when I look at these books. So I figure whatever they have that's cover price, because once you turn the front page, they're all the same book.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we lost Specter. He's probably gonna go check
He's
out.
He's probably gonna pop back in just to clear.
Probably needs new oil.
You know, I got stuck on those. What are they? Retail incentive variants. So like that the different stores sell. You know, like for a while I was just getting all of them, man. And then at some point, like I'd buy them for $60, and then a month or two later they're worth like 20. You know, and I just like, what am I doing? Let me let you back in, Specter. There you go. What's up, man?
How now, brown cow?
You clear.
Better.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it better when he was the robot.
Really?
This is not an episode of Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah.
But back to what I was saying. There are some that I'll pick up still, man. The guy that I like a lot, I like Jock. I've been looking at that Joker cover, the black and white one. Have you seen that one? The year one, or the villain, the DC villain, year of the villain cover?
Yeah.
One.
Really nice, man.
I don't think there's a Jock one.
The only Joker you're the villain I got was, man, what one was it? I don't remember.
Yeah, Jock's good. I also love he's always with Scorpion Comics. Why am I going blank right now?
Crane.
Yeah, Clayton Crane, man.
Yeah, Clayton Crane.
BLC, that's the one I got. I got the Delato. Okay, I got the Delato that you have there, but I only have the Virgin covers.
Oh, okay.
So
Show off.
I think there's only like 400 or something.
Yeah, it's a nice cover right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm a sucker for too, is like exclusives.
Yeah. I know.
Story of my life. I'm like, oh, there's only 400 of that. Oh, there's only 100 of that. Okay. I'll order that.
I like back in the days, you know, it was either like a special or a second printing. That was probably it, or you know, or a price differential or something.
Really, I mean,
very small
newsstand or direct. That was pretty much it.
That. And now forget it. Now it's just, you know,
yeah.
I'll look at the list and have 1A, AA, AB, AC, AD, all the way to C.
I'm done.
I'm like, you know, and then it goes from 1B, I'm like C, D, E, F, all the way to Z. I'm
I
like,
quit.
2. I mean, that's like 20, 30 books before you even
Yep.
get to number 2.
Yep.
Like, that's crazy.
It's overwhelming. I was actually pretty bad about it for a little while. Like I was like, oh man, all this art's so great, and I was trying to do a lot of it. And then eventually it got to the point where I was just like, enough's enough. And now I'm actually just going backwards. Like it'll be like that one book, that one cover, and that's pretty much all I'm buying now. Like that Joker that we just looked at.
Yeah.
That's the only book I've bought in a while. And then aside from that, I've dropped like everything else, and I'm trying to get older stuff now.
I have a hard time buying the cardstock variant because it's $1 more.
Dude, yeah.
That bugs the hell out of me.
So like I have super OCD, and if I start a series with the B cover, I have to get all B
the B covers.
And that has been kicking my butt, man. All the cardstock.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's annoying, man.
Like $5, or is it $6 a pop? It's like $6.
$4.99.
Yeah. It's rough. It's savage. Yeah.
I don't have that problem. I pick. I usually like one and done on my favorite cover. It's usually the main cover, but once in a while it's the alternate, the B cover and all that. Only once in a while is there. So comic cover is so good. I had to get 2, like the Amazing Mary Jane. I got the regular and the Art Germ cover. I just couldn't say
Art Germ. That's what I did with the XMen book, man. I got the Art Germ Jean Grey, our Marvel girl.
Mm-hmm.
That was a gorgeous cover, man. But then I get home, I'm like, why do I have both of these? Like, I don't know right now.
Man, I miss my 25-cent covers when I used to be a kid and go to the store. 25 cents, still 25 cents. Still 25 cents. $4 for $4. Used to get as many books as I want back then. Now $1 gets you what? $1 book.
Yeah, there's some good dollar books out there.
Yeah, but 25 cents. That was great price. Still 25 cents, and you got it anywhere. Anywhere I went, there was a comic book store. Wherever I went, they're all over the place. Abundance. Anywhere I wanted.
But there were no Cranes and no Delatos.
No, there was no Cranes.
And no McFarlanes.
No, but
Kirby's. Yeah.
I had those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, Stanley back in the days too.
Dang.
Been happening there. Access to the books were everywhere.
There was also no YouTube with Comic Specter showing all these variants that he did on his channel. But look at these; it's just amazing.
And it's been a while. It's been actually quite a while since I've done that. But it's like I said, like I really haven't been picking up variants of anything, honestly. Just like that Joker was it. Like I think that's the last book that I've bought in recent history. That's why I don't have like haul videos really anymore.
Yeah, I've been wondering where you were, man. I saw you on an auction like the other day, and that was like I've seen you in quite a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I pretty much dropped real world stuff. It's I pretty much dropped collecting because I was doing a lot of guard time, and then I got a new job, so real life focus, and then priorities. It is what it is.
You want to see a dumb focus?
I'm gonna get out of here. My family's home, so gonna go spend time with them. So
all right,
all right, man.
All right, Matt.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. See you later, Matt.
Talk to you later.
Look at this, dude.
I know those are mystery boxes.
You know what that is, bro.
Man.
Oh.
And that was another reason why I stopped because of that, man. It was.
Are those all the Spider-Man ones?
Yep.
It's addicting.
Bueller, he's like in his head, he's just cussing at me, man. You know how many Bueller boxes you could have bought with that money?
that's like what is that like it's over $120 sitting right there.
You know what though, man? Since it's con season, I ordered like 2 here and 3 there, and
they all came.
I just had them sitting there, man. Like I'm actually waiting for Daniel Arzola so we can do another that Spider-Man booth unboxing again.
All this,
But
I got books everywhere. And I just did an unboxing because I had books here from last week. I had all wins. I had like Midtown Bricks. I had
yeah.
I mean, just because they had a sale.
They had like the 60 or 70% off.
Jumping on books.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I don't know if you caught it, BLC, but if you would have caught it like literally the day it started, that huge sale,
Yeah.
and you would have looked up Venom First Host, you could have gotten that second print that's worth like whatever the heck that's worth now, because they were selling that for like 70% off.
Oh damn.
Yeah, because I went on there like the day after the sale, or like the day after the sale, and then, like it was starting to blow up. It was already too late. They'd already sold every single copy of it. But back to our original topic of what you want to do with your channel. Oh wait,
Go ahead, talk.
oh okay. He's like,
He wants
talk
to
now.
talk. That's what he wants.
Man, I think it's like awesome that he wants to do that with his channel, and I'd really like to see what he's able to do with it. My cats are going crazy here, but it's going to be tough because it's a hard medium to sell, and I think that like he can do it with his kids, and John's Comics with Kids can do it really well too with his. It's getting other people involved. Like you have to have older people do it. Like you have to have parents involved, or older brothers and sisters, things of that nature, to push the medium, because people get to a certain age, and they're going to be looking for something that's really going to capture their attention. And if somebody's not there to guide them, they're going to look to the easiest thing, which is going to be the YouTube, the Xbox One, PS4, whatever the case may be. So I'm really, I think that what you want to do is awesome, man. Seriously.
Cool. Thank you, man. I just thought, what I mean, all of us like kind of we serve each other, and we're all older, and you know what I mean, a little bit more into comics. But I figured I love doing that. I love the friendships that we've made. I mean, the fact I'm hanging out with you guys, you three tonight, it's awesome, But I really want to get these young, new readers into reading comic books. And if there's any way that I can help parents out by saying, okay, look, here is Batman, A Death in the Family. And it talks about drugs. It has blood. You know what I'm saying? And just give them a little bit of a breakdown of it. And now you can go check it out. And it'll be real short too, So we'll see. I'm going to try to formulate it and get the idea just right. But I really want to be able to help these kids out. And
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not an uphill battle, because it is.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Nowadays, kids got their phones and everything. And again, the video games, and they're all interested in other things. If they get lucky that they have friends that all interested at the same time with the comic books, that helps a lot. Yeah. Because then they're not by themselves. They have other friends, and they're doing the same thing. So again, but again, a lot of kids at their age, they know the superheroes. They might not be into comic books, but there's a conversation that they can have at school. They talk about superheroes and everything, and maybe they'll catch on from there too. But
it's true, man.
I think a person like you should have this conversation with. I mean, I know I've said it like multiple times, more or less. John's Comics with Kids, dude. Because I mean, he deals with kids all the time.
Yeah, that's what he does.
So he would literally have like the best point of view on this subject. Like how to sell it to kids, really.
Yep.
Because you have to capture their imagination.
It's true.
Really what it is.
It's true. I made a video for the kids, like a 12.
What was that, Bueller?
Has to be quick and colorful and bright, all that good stuff that looks just
you don't want to be too long,
explosions.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I made a video for the kids when I went to their school, and some of the kids, I could tell I was watching them to see how they reacted, and I kind of went over the Death of Superman story, and a little too long for most of them.
Yeah.
Like at first they're like this, they're like, oh, this is really cool. And then all of a sudden I see them like playing with each other and doing all this stuff, and there's older kids too. So I was like, okay, I need to really work on that so I can capture that imagination.
I think that's why we saw like a big transition in like the early 90s as far as like the storytelling went. It went from like a much slower paced, story to very fast, like it. All of our XMen, our Ghost Riders, our Punishers, eventually Deadpool, et cetera, everything became really fast because that's what it took. Like it took that to get and keep our attention, because I know for a fact I was always looking forward to going to my local newsstand and getting that next issue of Punisher or Punisher World Journal, Ghost Rider. Uncanny X-Men was absolutely killing it back then. And I was just like, oh my God. And, I'd like go to my mom and be like, Mom, I got to get that. And she'd be like, you're just wasting your money.
Yeah, like I said, I got lucky. I got caught up where it was all over the place. The books were everywhere. It was all over television, cartoons. I would get up early morning, Saturday morning.
Yep.
The only time I could get up early without my mother waking me up and I didn't have to go to school. I get up early morning on a Saturday to go watch the cartoons and watch my Super Friends and watch the G.I. Joes and the He-Mans and the Thundercats because they were on television. Transformers. It was just like nonstop. I was surrounded by all that. You go to the toy stores. Remember when these toy stores used to have? You see the action figures. You see all the superheroes all in front of you. So I was surrounded constantly about that. So I got lucky. These days, you don't see too much.
Yeah, it's because the cartoons nowadays stink, man.
Not anime.
Anime's it's true. That's why Bueller was right earlier, But I'll sit there and watch the reboot of some of the Spider-Man stuff, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? This stinks compared to the 90s stuff,
Well, you know what? You're right, actually, because I remember what is it? I actually have it over the Batman from the 90s, wasn't it? The whole Batman run, that cartoon was epic.
Batman the animated series.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Heck yeah, dude.
So I mean, we had some really good stuff back then. But then when was the Justice League cartoon out? You remember when was that?
That had to be the age.
No, it was later.
You sure?
Justice
There
League.
was one in the 80s.
Justice League or Super Friends?
Yeah.
Justice League, not Super Friends. I'm talking actual Justice League.
That was 2000s, man. Early 2000s.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yep.
And then since then, DC has been killing it when it comes to animation, animation.
Heck yeah.
They've been doing killer. Marvel on the other hand, yeah, exactly.
One of the best things I've ever seen, man.
Yeah, Marvel on the other hand hasn't really done anything with the actual animation side of it, but they went a whole nother route. They just went with MCU. So I think they won on that.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't know. I mean, my kids were watching the other day. What's it called? With Scrooge McDuck and
DuckTales.
DuckTales.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the new one, and it's just so cruddy compared to the old one, man. And I don't know if I'm just biased or what, but I'm like, I don't know. Well, guys, I probably got to get out of here, man. My daughter called me. That was the phone call I took. She's like, "Can you come pick me up from Dairy Queen?"
All right. Hey, get me some. Give me Blizzard, bro. All right.
All right. Bar. That's right, man. But she's like, "Take your time, Dad. Take your time. I don't want to go yet." So,
she's hanging out.
I know she's hanging out. She's hanging out. That's true, Kavi. Nothing will be as good. Batman animated series, X-Men, Spider-Man. That was it for me, man.
That was it. Seriously.
That was the bomb.
But before you go, real quick, as good as we think animated stuff is, maybe even today, I was just saying the Justice League was good. The DC stuff now is really good. It's nothing. It really when we're talking about numbers. Earlier they were saying, 100,000 of this sold or whatever the case may be. Everything that we're interested in now pales in comparison to movies. So our cartoons that we love and we want other people to enjoy, hopefully you can snag, hopefully you can do what you're trying to do. Seriously.
Yeah, man. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, tonight I had 3 or 4 kids from the school I was at yesterday in the chat, and we're a whole bunch of men hanging out. I want to put something out for them. You know what I'm saying? And that way, they stopped by tonight. They're okay. Some of them left really quick. And one of the kids, I don't know if he's still here, but he stuck with us for a while. He's a little 4th grader, I want to be able to put something out for a 4th grader so that they can know, okay, Boy Who Had Seven's live shows are all about the adults and it's boring and I'm going to just not go there. But I'm going to go watch his Wednesday show or his Tuesday show because it's something new that I should pick up and get my parents to buy me for Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But so, guys, really quick, Comic Gories, anybody watching? It's going to be super Halloween special Wednesday night next week, 5 p.m. my channel. What we're going to do is we're going to have 2 people on head-to-head. And they're going to go up against it 3 rounds, and whoever wins stays on, and whoever loses gets off, and the next contestant comes on. And at the end of the night, the last man standing or woman is going to win the whole thing, get a big old prize and stuff. So
I'm still in shell shock because the last time I was in one of those, I went up against John with kids, and he came out with a giant size X-Men #1 and blew me out of the water.
Yeah, I can't compete against anybody. Like,
I heard about that.
I'll be like,
This show is all about the comic gory that you get, man. It's not
I'll be
about
like,
better
I
book.
voted for John. I said, might as well
here's a
vote for
Tech
him. He got
1000.
all the votes. I didn't get one. I'm about to vote for John. I'll make it unanimous.
Soyan variant.
Yeah.
There you go, man. You guys got anything coming up that we should know about?
Tomorrow, auction, 7:00, my channel.
Cool.
And he'll be on there too.
Sweet. Sweet. I'll
Hopefully.
try to pop in tomorrow. I've got 3 soccer games and homecoming for 2 of my kids, so we're gonna come around and all that. But I'll try to do it on my cell phone.
Bueller. It's always great hanging out with you, buddy. I miss this, man.
Don't break it. Don't break it.
We're touching. We're touching.
The creepiest thing would be if you just saw Bueller's finger like come onto your screen, man.
I'd be like, ah. Oh man.
Anything you want to tell the viewers, Bueller?
Just thanks for having me on. It was a good time. Appreciate hanging out with you guys. Always.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, like I said when I started, I have a video I have to make, and I don't want to have to do it. So I'd much rather hang out with you guys than do this. A lot of times I don't want to do the video, and I'm really procrastinating on this one because I know it's going to take me like a day to do the video. So,
well, thanks for coming, man. It's always an honor to have you on, Bueller, for sure. BLC, nice hanging out with you, brother. Love you much, man. Thank you.
Thank you for
Specter, good to have you back, man.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you guys. We will see you later. Y'all have a good weekend. Like Kavi said, much love to everybody. And